Hello and welcome to heliosblog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. Today, Kevin Samuels asks if modern women are proud to be selfish. Let's get into it.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
Good. I would ask not to be on camera. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. How old are you?
I am 20. I'm about to be 27 in April.
Are you single or are you married?
I am single.
All right, so what do you got? Why are modern women so proud to be selfish?
I'm going to piggyback off of Angela's response. I really do feel like it has to do with
It's men's fault.
not getting the therapy, the help, maybe
okay.
from past relationships, past marriages, picking the wrong man, and also learning about dating with intention from
Wow, so she's actually taken accountability. That's amazing.
you, Mr. Samuels. A lot of women probably haven't learned to do that. And so just picking the wrong man and having those things done to them, it probably just messed them up mentally.
Okay. I'm gonna, I think it would be easy for a lot of people to understand that.
Yes.
But honestly, what I see more than anything else is a bunch of egotistical women.
Yup. Girls that care more about themselves than what they actually need to care about, which is, am I fit? Am I feminine? Am I cooperative? Am I submissive? Am I bedroom fun loyal? Am I 18 to 23 years old? Do I have a child before marriage? Are my standards realistic? And so on.
I don't see women who have been walking around damaged. I see women doing more damage to men saying they've been hurt.
Yup.
I don't see, I grew up, I don't see many women who are honestly, I get a lot of pushback. When you hear all this allegations of infidelity and abuse and this, I see more abuse from women to men.
Yup.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, it's like a built-in disrespect, basically.
I think it's just easier. I've been watching you since 2019, and like you said, there's so many more platforms for women to express themselves and to point the.
And if men do express themselves, oh M word, oh A word, oh H word, oh woe is me, how dare you, and so on.
Finger and say, well, it's your fault, and I think that's also why women today do take advantage of their children, because they feel like their voice is louder, stronger. You're a child.
No one questions them.
No one can tell them nothing, to quote Kevin Samuels.
No one questions them. Okay, hey Seb, let me unmute you. No, I think a lot of women in this category don't want to be questioned.
Yup.
And then when somebody questions them, it's almost like,
yes.
Hold on. Hello.
Yeah, it's how dare you. All right, let's do the shilling now. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian R, Tom M, and Bobby. Shoutouts to you, most recent Patreon subscriber. Thank you. Go buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Shoutouts to Curry Kid, most recent purchaser of Strategist Guide to Seduction. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. My Patreon can be found at patreon.com/theheliosblog. Support me on the podcast by clicking the description link. Scroll down to support the show. And of course, share this video. All right. Thanks, everybody. Let's continue.
Is their name Simon?
Seven.
How are you, Seven? Something's
fine.
going on with your microphone, Brittany, so I'm going to have to mute you for a second. How old are you?
I'm 29.
29. Are you single or are you married?
Danger zone.
I'm single.
Okay. Any children?
Yeah, I have 3.
No way. 3 children before marriage. Yeah, how many different fathers is the next question.
How many fathers?
2.
Okay.
Disaster. Yeah, that's like marriage kryptonite. Good luck.
All right. So I asked the question: why are so many single mothers today proud to be selfish?
I think that's a good question too. I actually was trying to think from a certain perspective to where, because I don't want to sit there and be like one of the women who are like, oh, that's not me, I'm not selfish.
Basically, every girl says, I'm special. You know? I'm different than the rest, and then proceeds to act like the rest.
I will
Obviously, not all women, but you get what I'm saying.
want to think like more so like on a grand scale, like how are we selfish because we have the children and you know left the fathers for the most part? Because I'm just gonna speak for me. Is that what makes us selfish?
Well, what makes you selfish is you care about yourself more than you care about anybody else.
Right, exactly.
Meaning that
the children don't matter, the man doesn't matter, the ex-husbands or ex-baby daddies or whatever, they don't matter. What matters is the girl getting the outcome that she wants.
Let's say you got a child. Let's say you and the father aren't together, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's say there's a child support and a custody order. You take the father's weekends and you plan a sleepover, knowing that man only gets a few days a week,
right? Exactly.
A month.
Okay.
That's selfish.
Yep.
Yeah, that is selfish.
It happens all the time.
But I think
let me give you something. Let me give you another example.
Okay.
Keeping the boys after age 7. That's selfish.
Yeah, boys have far worse outcomes than girls when living with mother, because women don't know how to teach men how to be men. That's what a father figure is for. If a man grows up with no testosterone around, basically he becomes a soy boy. He becomes a weak man, and basically all he does is he perpetuates the same cycle. Right? He's a weak man that can only make weak children. And also, pretty much every single man that's in a bad way, almost all of them have single mothers for parents. They have no father figure. Because again, women are very bad at saying no. And because they're bad at saying no, they're bad at creating boundaries. And if they're bad at creating boundaries, I mean, you can see how that might create a pathological person, right? All right, let's continue.
Okay.
What do you think about that concept?
I think that I just learned something new, and that's why I like listening to you.
But she's not going to give the boys back.
I feel like you have this wisdom, just that, like I didn't have an older man in my life talking like that, so now I never knew when I had just had a son.
So I had three kids by 2 different fathers without getting married.
So keeping him until he's 7
Disaster.
now is something where I think it is selfish. I think that
I mean after he's 7, I mean it's like,
yeah,
the best woman can't raise a man to be a man.
That's right.
And if you've ever seen a boy around a man, there's something that we can do with our voice that you can't do with a million threats.
That's right. Exactly.
We can get a boy to stand up straight just with our voice.
Yep, it's true.
All right. Well, after he's no longer mama's baby boy, why do so many women keep their sons?
I know that answer. That's definitely out of ego and pride and selfishness. Really, it's driven from lower self.
I think a lot of women. I think that. I'm gonna unmute you, other ladies. I think a lot of women. Go ahead and unmute yourselves, ladies. I think a lot of women expect to have the kids. I think a lot of women believe that they are the best parent. They believe the children belong to them.
Yeah, basically the idea is this. I gave birth to them, therefore they're mine, right? But here's the thing. For boys especially, they have far worse outcomes. Actually, if you look at the statistics, single men, parents, have far better outcomes with children than single women parents. And I believe that has to do with boundaries. Women are very good at being nurturing, but they're very bad at saying no. And so, it's better to have a person who's capable of saying no be less nurturing, and you'll turn out better. You might become a little bit hard, but you'll still turn out okay. Versus somebody who can't say no and is enabling you, right? Okay, let's continue.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that when the relationship is over with the man, that all I need from you is money and we're good.
Right, exactly.
But is it best for the kids?
That's right, exactly.
Can I just, well, one thing
anybody, y'all can all go ahead.
So if you care more about yourself and less about the children, are you selfish? And I mean, I think anyone with half a brain cell or 2 brain cells to rub together knows the answer to that. You're selfish.
Brittany and then 7, then y'all else can chime in too. Go ahead. Go ahead, 7.
Oh, okay. For I don't want to speak from my scenario. I kind of want to. I like what you're doing. I feel like it's opening up a lot of women. And
I feel like
making them kind of see that from the space that it is selfish from this viewpoint. But I do.
But
believe that a lot of it is because of their feelings and emotions instead of letting go and seeing that it's more about them.
How many girls make decisions with their logic and not with their emotions? Just think about that. Then extrapolate that to an entire relationship with a child. Think about that.
I don't know. I see what you're saying, but I feel like it's not necessary.
What do you mean it's not necessary?
For a woman to do all those things, I think that she should let go.
Virtue signaling. Look at what a great person I am, Mr. Samuels. Look at what I'm saying. Don't you agree with what I'm saying? Aren't I such a great person?
And not try to have so much control. Like you don't control the child.
So I got a question for all you ladies. What organization, institution, or what in society has the ability to check a woman and tell her she's doing wrong?
Literally.
Where can a modern woman today in the West be told she's wrong?
She can only be told by another woman. By the way, if you want to know who rules over you, look at who you can't criticize. Who can we not criticize in 2023? Men or women? That should tell you everything that you need to know.
None.
Only the black man can
None
tell
at
us.
all.
A black man can't tell you shit.
Nope.
Barely that.
Well, they're they're the ones that are speaking, some of them are, some do
You got one, I'm one black man, and they've tried to basically crucify me for just saying what men think. Black men have the least voice of any other race of men.
Yeah, very true.
So my question is, all right, men are often told if we're doing good or bad, but it's like today, no one can tell a woman anything. And if you got, let's say...
Yeah, and what's the threat if you do? You lose your job, and so on. Social destruction, and so on.
You got a son to raise, and you want your son to be a stand-up man. Then you look at how how women are raising their daughters. Do you want these daughters? Are you seeing women raise daughters that you want your sons to marry?
Not at all.
Indeed.
Then who can tell them, hey, Mom, what you doing with these girls?
Literally.
It's up to us, honestly. It's really up to us. It honestly is.
Exactly. Women only can check women, which, I mean, can you see why that's a problem?
We have to hold each other accountable.
How?
Like
How can? But I know that's a talking point. But
It sounds nice on paper, in theory.
I asked the question because I know there is nothing that can check a woman today. Women have no checks. We're to the point to now where Chris Brown was just accused of a heinous crime because he ghosted a chick. She sued him for $20 million,
Imagine
knowing
that.
she was lying. Is that woman in any jail?
no.
So accountability, right? So it's one-way accusations, right? And those can fly.
Is all day long. And what women are demanding that she goes to jail?
None.
Thank you. This whole thing with
Ridiculous.
Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Starting to look kind of fishy. That man's had his entire life. So my point is, if men can't check you, y'all can't check a woman, why do we believe women are just these? There's no wonder why women feel like they can do no wrong. Y'all are like little mini gods.
It's actually a psychological fallacy. It's called the women are wonderful effect, right? So the idea is because in general men want to get laid, they allow women to get away with more on average, right? And this is where the concept of believe all women comes from. It comes from that, right? Women are sugar spice and everything nice, so they can't tell lies, and so on. Okay, let's continue.
Am I right or wrong in this one?
Yeah.
Seven, what are you thinking?
Right.
I think that we are attracted to black men like you that do speak up, that are willing to.
That's for sure.
To listen and really try to recorrect a lot of things. So but I do believe there's nothing we could do about some that don't want to.
Well, okay. You're attracted to black men like myself, but do you mate with black men like me?
Indeed.
I mate with ones that want to mom me for some reason. I don't know.
So the answer is
no.
Well, I am submissive, but
I asked to see too many words, folks. When you start hearing too many words, they're trying to cover up.
Yeah, deflecting.
No. So what message does that send men? We like men who say X, Y, and Z. We like men like you, but then we go make babies with these guys.
Exactly. So the words say one thing, the actions say something else. I mean, it tells you everything you need to hear.
This is where I think the conversation has to get to, because men have been screaming for the longest. But now, you women who have daughters, you got to look at how the women are raising the boys and women are raising. Y'all are in charge. Women want to be in charge. And now you hear a lot of women saying, we want y'all to be in charge now.
Yeah, so we've driven the car off a cliff. It's rolled a few times. It's got a million dents. Can't run, can't drive it, can't turn it on. We're hanging upside down, bleeding from every orifice. Now you solve the problem. Excuse me? You got into this hole.
No. You drove it in the ditch. Now you want us to pull it out?
Exactly.
We'll be in charge of the women that ain't in the ditch. The women that have no children, unmarried. We'll be in charge of them.
It's the concept of I've had my fun and now I'm ready to settle down. Well, no, I don't want a girl who's had her fun. I want to be the fun. You see?
But the women that already have kids, the women that are already in $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 worth of debt for a communications degree, absolutely not.
No thanks.
Is that cold-hearted?
No.
I don't believe y'all.
They're virtue signaling. They're just saying what Kevin wants to hear. But I don't believe that they actually believe what they're saying. They're just saying what he wants to hear.
I'm just saying that because I think y'all really want us to do something with them.
They're saying it because they're on camera and they don't want to look bad in front of the camera, because women have this thing where they don't want to be expelled from the group, and so they say what they think the group wants to hear in order to stay in the group. And in Kevin Samuel's group, this is what he wants you to say, so you say what he wants you to say, but that doesn't mean you necessarily believe it.
I believe there are some, but I would say it's a small percentage that.
It's a logical fallacy. Oh, there's someone for everyone. There's some girl somewhere out there some guy somewhere out there that wants a girl like that, who's had multiple children by multiple different fathers and who's effectively a quote-unquote loser as far as relationships are concerned. But he'll take her. But he wouldn't if he didn't have to.
And that want to deal with it, and there are some that don't.
We want to deal with...
No. 99.9999% don't want to.
Women whose lives are off the rails?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's different for each person.
Nope, it is not. People are more similar than they are different. So no, that is false.
Like everybody has different scenarios. For me, I would say that I am not a selfish single mother, but I
stop the cop.
I guess for certain reasons.
You know how let me tell you something, Seven. Let me tell you how I would answer.
I'm not like everyone else, but I make the same decisions as everyone else. I'm in the same position as everyone else, and I choose the same men as everyone else. But I'm different. I'm different. I'm not bad. Disaster.
To that, before you could say that, you have 3 children by 2 men.
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing anybody right now?
No.
How did 2 fathers get along?
Well, one
badly
was incarcerated since she was 4 months.
Again, like you see, we love men that act like you, Kevin. But I had a kid with an incarcerated guy. The greatest honor that a girl can give to a guy, she gave to that guy. What does the action say? That's my question to you guys.
All right. I was going to say, the way you say you're not a selfish mother, the men would have to say that.
Exactly.
If I'm selfish or not?
Yep.
What would they say? I get along with the girlfriends. I share them. They're not mine. I don't own them.
Okay. I guess ultimately, ladies, what I'm getting you to understand is what you think of yourself is one thing, but you got to understand,
the market decides.
Hear the worst parts. We need to be able to hear from the men's mouth what you are.
Well, I think they would feel like they would have feelings like that there was no reason for me to leave them or something.
Okay. Hey, Brittany. Okay. So hold on, Seven. You said you have 1 child and the father's been incarcerated since she was 4 months. What about the other 2?
I only have 2.
I thought you had 3 children by 2 men.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. The incarcerated father has 2 children?
He has 1.
And the other one, what is he doing?
He's in and out of his grandma. He lives at a girlfriend's house.
Perfect. Yup, these are the stand-up citizens you want having your children. These men.
He's sleeping on the floor right now.
Why are you making babies with these men?
Exactly.
I've known him since I was a kid. That was my comfort.
Having babies with this guy was your comfort, I see.
And that
it may sound like trauma, or I do know that it's mental, but I just
who was gonna say something?
It's mental describes that situation perfectly.
Brittany, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, because Mr. Samuels, I know you've touched on this before about dating with intention and picking the right men, because I guess you could say it's selfish because we're picking either, we're not dating with
Yes,
intention.
thank
So we're
you.
leaving
What?
You are picking disaster men, having children with them, and then you have terrible outcomes, and what do? You blame the men. Who selects who for bedroom fun? That's the question that should be answered here.
What are you leaving the community?
Exactly.
Yes, we're leaving the relationships, which is hurting the children, because we need to
Yup.
understand how.
And if you have to leave the relationship because of the guy's personality, why would you ever have a child with a man like that? That's the question. It blows the mind.
Important the father role is in the child's life. And so when we pick these men and we...
Seven, did you hear? Do you understand what she's saying?
Oh yeah, I'm listening.
Because you have 3 children by 2 men who are just, let's say, not up to par. How about?
Yeah, it's just a disaster. Alright, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian R, Tom, and Bobby. Shoutouts to you, most recent Patreon subscriber. Thank you. Go buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Shoutouts to Curry Kid, most recent purchaser of Strategist Guide to Seduction. Thank you. My Patreon can be found at patreon.com/theheliosblog. Support me on the podcast by clicking the description link. Scroll down to support the show. Thank you. Share this video as well. Thank you so much for listening, especially if you listen to the end. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.